If you have opened X, Reddit, or YouTube over the last few days, you have probably seen people talking about GPT 5.6. Some people are calling it OpenAI's biggest model release yet. Others are saying it's confusing because instead of launching one model, OpenAI has launched three: Sol, Terra, and Luna. And if you're like most people, your first question was probably, why are there three models? Which one is actually the smartest? Which one should I use? And why did OpenAI suddenly stop naming models like GPT-4 or GPT-5 and start naming them after planets and the sun? By the end of this video, you'll know what GPT 5.6 actually is, why OpenAI created three different models instead of one, the difference between Sol, Terra, and Luna, which model is best for coding, research, content creation, and everyday work, which one gives you the best value for money, and finally, which model I think almost everyone should actually choose. So let's start with the biggest question: what is GPT 5.6? To understand GPT 5.6, we first need to understand how OpenAI has been changing. For years, every new model follows the same pattern: GPT-3, GPT 3.5, GPT-4, GPT-5, one model, one flagship. Everyone used the same thing, but AI has changed. Today, some people want the absolute smartest model, some want something that's cheaper, others just want answers as quickly as possible. One model can no longer satisfy everyone. So instead of asking users to choose between completely different product names, OpenAI introduced a new family structure for GPT 5.6. The number tells you the generation of the model, the name tells you the capability tier. That's why now you have GPT 5.6 Sol, GPT 5.6 Terra, and GPT 5.6 Luna. OpenAI says this naming system is meant to make choices clearer. Rather than releasing unrelated model names every few months, Sol, Terra, and Luna represent long-term capability tiers that can evolve independently by staying in the GPT 5.6 family. Think about buying a phone. You might have a standard version, a plus version, and a pro version. Same family, different strengths. That's exactly what OpenAI is doing here. Instead of one AI trying to be everything, there's now a model optimized for maximum capability, one balanced for everyday work, and one designed for speed and efficiency. And here's something important that a lot of people missed. These aren't three completely different AIs, they share the same GPT 5.6 foundation. What changes is how they are optimized, balancing intelligence, speed, and cost differently, depending on the type of work you need to do. So let's meet the first member of the family, and it's the one OpenAI says is the most capable model yet, GPT 5.6 Sol. Terra is everyday model and Luna is built for speed. Then Sol is OpenAI's flagship. This is the model OpenAI wants you to use when the problem is genuinely difficult. Not when you are asking what is the capital of Japan, but when you are solving problems that require deep reasoning, careful planning, long chain of thoughts, or technical expertise. According to OpenAI, Sol is designed for some of the most demanding workloads they support today. Things like complex coding projects, scientific research, cybersecurity analysis, professional knowledge work. In other words, this isn't the model you use just because you can. It's the model you use because the task actually demands it. So what actually makes Sol special? Let's imagine you're building an entire startup. You need a website, a backend, a database, documentation, API integration, testing, deployment, security review, bug fixing. Now imagine asking an AI to help with all of that. That's where Sol shines. Instead of only answering individual questions, it's designed to understand larger projects. It keeps the context better, it reasons through complicated decisions, and it performs much better on tasks that involve multiple steps instead of one single prompt. OpenAI has highlighted that Sol achieves state-of-the-art results on several evaluations involving browsing, computer use, and long horizon professional tasks, while also improving efficiency compared to previous model. Sol isn't just smarter, it's also more efficient. Normally, people assume better AI means higher cost, but OpenAI says Sol can actually complete many coding and professional tasks using significantly fewer tokens than previous versions. So why does that matter? Because fewer tokens usually mean faster responses, lower operating costs, and less unnecessary text. Think of it like hiring someone who explains exactly what you need, instead of writing 10 pages when one page would do. That's a surprisingly important improvement for business using AI at scale. Is Sol the best model? Well, yes, but there's a catch. The smartest model isn't always the right model. Imagine driving to the grocery store. Would you take a Formula 1 car? Probably not. It's incredibly powerful, but it's expensive, overkill, and designed for a completely different job. The same idea applies here. If you're writing a quick email asking homework questions, summarizing lecture notes, or planning a vacation, you probably don't need Sol. That's where a lot of people make the wrong choice. They automatically assume the biggest model must always be the best model. Not necessarily. OpenAI didn't create Terra and Luna because Sol wasn't good enough. They created them because different users have different needs. Sometimes speed matters more than maximum intelligence. Sometimes cost matters more than squeezing out the last few percent of performance. And that's exactly why the GPT 5.6 family exists. So who should actually use Sol? If you're a software engineer, this is probably the model you'll want for large code bases, debugging complex systems, reviewing pull requests, and solving difficult programming problems. If you're a researcher, Sol is built for analyzing large amounts of information, comparing sources, reasoning through technical materials, and handling larger investigations. If you're working in fields like biology, cybersecurity, engineering, or data science, these are exactly the kinds of professional workloads OpenAI has highlighted when talking about Sol's strength. But here's something interesting. I actually don't think Sol is the model that most ChatGPT users will end up using every day. And that's because of the next model, the one OpenAI believes offers the best balance between intelligence, speed, and cost. Meet GPT 5.6 Terra, and honestly, this might be the most important model in the entire GPT 5.6 family because not everyone needs the absolute smartest AI. Most people just want an AI that's fast enough, smart enough, affordable enough, and reliable enough. That's exactly where Terra comes in. OpenAI describes Terra as the balanced model. Think of it as the sweet spot between intelligence, speed, and cost. If Sol is the Formula One car, Terra is the luxury sedan. Still incredibly powerful but much more practical for everyday driving. Let's compare Sol and Terra. Imagine you're a college student, you need help with assignments, you summarize lecture notes, create PowerPoint presentations, write reports, research topics, prepare for interviews. Would Sol do all of that? Absolutely. But do you actually need OpenAI's most advanced reasoning model just to summarize a PDF or prepare tomorrow's presentation? Probably not. That's where Terra shines. It delivers a very high level of capability while being designed to more efficient for day-to-day work. In fact, OpenAI says Terra delivers performance competitive with GPT 5.5 while costing about half as much. Businesses will probably love Terra. Now think about a company with 500 employees. If every employee is using AI every day, cost becomes a huge factor. Even a small difference in token pricing can turn into thousands of dollars over time. That's why OpenAI didn't just build the smartest model, they built a model that companies can actually afford to use at scale. For API pricing, Terra is listed at $2.5 per million input tokens and $15 per million output tokens, sitting neatly between Sol and Luna. So for many organizations, Terra isn't the compromise, it's the optimal choice. Does Terra feel less intelligent? This is where a lot of people misunderstood AI models. Just because Terra isn't the flagship doesn't mean it's bad. Think about laptops. A MacBook Air isn't less useful than a MacBook Pro. They are built for different users. The same idea applies here. If your tasks involve writing, research, brainstorming, business planning, meeting notes, marketing, general coding, Terra is likely going to feel more than capable. And because it's designed to be more efficient, many people actually may prefer it for their daily workflow. But what if you don't need all of that? What if your priority isn't maximum intelligence or the perfect balance? What if your priority is simply speed? You just want answers immediately, you process thousands of requests every day, you need the lowest possible cost. That's where the final member of the family comes in, and don't let its position fool you. Because GPT 5.6 Luna might end up powering more AI applications than either Sol or Terra. Let's find out why. OpenAI designed Luna to be the fastest and most cost-efficient model in the GPT 5.6 family, while still delivering strong everyday performance. Think of it like this. If Sol is a supercomputer and Terra is a powerful workstation, Luna is a lightweight laptop that starts instantly and gets the job done. It may not be the best choice for extreme complex reasoning, but it's built to respond quickly, scale efficiently, and keep costs low. And for many real-world products, that's actually more than important. So where will Luna be used? Here's something interesting. You might end up using Luna every day without even realizing it. Why? Because many companies building AI products don't need the absolute smartest model. They need a model that's fast, reliable, affordable, and available at massive scale. Imagine an online shopping website. Thousands of customers ask questions every hour. Where's my order? Can I return this item? Which size should I buy? Those questions don't require the deepest reasoning model OpenAI has ever built. They require quick, accurate responses. Luna is exactly the kind of model that makes those experiences possible. The same goes for AI chatbots, virtual assistant, product recommendation systems, and hundreds of other everyday applications. OpenAI positions Luna as the entry point to the GPT 5.6 family, focusing on speed and efficiency while keeping the same core architecture as the larger models. So which model should you choose? Let's make this as simple as possible. If you're solving the hardest technical problems, working on scientific research, building complex software solutions, or doing advanced analysis, choose Sol. If you're using AI every day for work, creating presentations, writing reports, studying, general coding or content creation, choose Terra. And if your priority is fast answers, lower cost, high volume usage, simple tasks, or you're building an application that serves thousands of users, choose Luna. That's really what this family is all about. Not good, better, best, but different tools for different jobs. Over the past few years, AI models have mostly been judged by one question: which one is the smartest? But I think GPT 5.6 changes that conversation. The better question now is which model is right for my work, and OpenAI is clearly betting that the future of AI isn't one model for everyone. It's the right model for the right task. That's why I think GPT 5.6 family is more important than it first appears. It's not just a new model release, it's a new way of thinking about AI. Now, I'd love to hear from you. If you had access to all three models today, which one would you choose? Sol for maximum power, Terra for everyday work, or Luna for speed? Let me know in the comments. And if this video helped you understand the GPT 5.6 family, don't forget to subscribe, because every week I break down the biggest AI updates in simple language. So join our WhatsApp community to not miss out on it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.